It's season 2, episode 46 of the Hall of Fame show. Evan, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing pretty well. I don't know. I don't know if you want to start over.
Yeah, I do. Right. It's your fault.
I know. I'm an asshole.
Yeah, you are. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's season 2, episode 46 of the Hall of Fame show. And Evan is with me, Evan Nolan, who will not sort of like help me screw things up. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you, sir?
Not too bad. Not too bad.
I'm thinking number 46. I don't think we have any of those. I think Larry Zonk is the best one I can find for that.
Yeah, I was looking the same. I couldn't come up with anything.
And I don't think Larry Zonk is. It's possible at some point, but he's not going to be coming soon onto our list. But
yeah, and for anyone wondering what that list is, we run the United States Athletic Hall of Fame.
We not only run it, we own and operate it as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So www.nottonhalloffame.com/USA. Check it out, vote, and yeah, something pretty special is going to happen.
We hope we're going to hopefully announce a class in June coming up. So
yeah, well, it will. Yeah, it's definitely going to happen.
We're announcing in June. So yeah. Anyway, well, this is our third opening, guys. We've already like, I don't know what's gone. We're punch drunk. I'm kind of a jerk. I didn't mean to make him laugh, but I just noticed that he was wearing the Marcus Stroman Memorial hat tonight since Marcus Stroman's like, I've always loved Chicago. And then the next one is like, the one stadium I've never pitched in is Wrigley. And I get to pitch it the whole time. I'm like,
okay. But what it really is it's not so much the memorial thing. It's just that I'm probably going to be moving from Barbados to Winnipeg because, hey, that's what people do.
Well, here's the thing. Barbados just dumped the Queen, and you just don't know how to live in a country that dumped the Queen.
Oh, I so do. I totally do for that.
You replace the Queen with the 11th hero of Barbados, Rihanna. I hope she's on all their currency.
Well, she might be out. Like
she could be. I mean, like, I my real question is, and I didn't bother to look this up. I was just wondering who the other 10 heroes of Barbados were, and is one of them Captain Morgan in his rum? A legitimate question. I could look this up, but just the fun speculation's enough that I don't really feel like looking it up. So,
well, she is here, as is Prince Charles.
Or Prince Charles is in Barbados right now?
Right now, yeah.
Yeah, he's all ears.
Like, yeah, he's all ears, yeah. Not in the building where I'm at, but yeah, he's here.
Interesting.
Yeah, not really.
Do you think that Liz is just holding out at this point, hoping Charles will die first so she could just pass it to the next generation? Because she's like 96 at this point.
I thought she was older than that.
Is she older than that? I don't know. Tony Bennett has that special, and he's 95, and he looks like he's been propped up like with scarecrow post.
Breaks my heart with Tony Bennett because like he is. What does he have? Like he does have dementia.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was the last one, and Lady Gaga loves that man and everything. So whatever. She is 95. I clearly know more about the Queen than you do. She's born April 21st, 1926. Elizabeth Alexandra Mary Windsor.
All right, should we move on? Because nobody gives a crap.
Sure, why not?
All right, awesome. Should I start off with my shit box or?
I mean, do we have any reels? Do we have anything real this week other than we finally did have a voter who admitted to voting for Clemens and not Bonds?
Yeah.
We've been looking for that for so long.
Do that first, please.
So, all right. So we've been long said that this upcoming MLB Hall of Fame vote is going to be the most interesting one ever. Because it is the last time of the ballot for, and I don't want to minimize the fourth guy, but for Kurt Schilling, Barry Bonds, and Roger Clemens, also Sammy Sosa, but he has no shot of getting it. So it's the last time on the ballot for those four, plus the first time on the ballot for both Alex Rodriguez and David Ortiz, among others. Mark Teixeira, Jimmy Rollins. We went through those people last week. But we were also coming off a ballot in which nobody was elected at the same time, right? So the next closest guy coming up, I guess, is Scott Rowland, maybe Todd Helton. Rowland, I guess, is the closest. He was at 50%. I don't think he makes a jump to 75 in a year. He'll probably get into the 60s at this point, and maybe next year, the year after, he gets in. But it's a big question as to whether or not he gets in. But one of the things we've wondered about for years is Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens. For up until last year, Roger Clemens always had one more vote than Barry Bonds for getting the Hall of Fame. And last year it reversed, where Bonds had one more vote than Clemens. And for years now, literally like 5 or 6 years, we've been like, who is voting for one and not the other? The answer is someone named Sadi LeBron or Sadi Lebron. I don't know. It looks like LeBron. He is a producer for Telemundo, and he
Telemundo.
Su líder mundial en deportes.
Yeah, it's like when you sent that to me. It felt like Raiders of the Lost Ark. But yeah, go on.
So anyway, Sadi voted for Bobby Abreu, Roger Clemens, Todd Helton, Andrew Jones, David Ortiz, Andy Pettitte, Manny Ramirez, Scott Rowland, Kurt Schilling, and Sammy Sosa. So in short, he did not vote for Barry Bonds, but did vote for Clemens, Ortiz, Pettitte, Sosa, Ramirez, and also did not vote for Alex Rodriguez.
I don't even know what to say.
It is like the amount of mental gymnastics that has to go through with voting for those who he voted for. Like, I get him if he really liked Andrew Jones and Bobby Abreu and Todd Helton, I get it. Scott Rowland, I get it if you want to do it for those guys. But like voting for half of the steroid guys and not the other half, particularly if you're going to vote for, if you're voting for Sammy Sosa, you got to vote for Alex Rodriguez and Barry Bonds. Both of whom are better players than Sosa. Sosa's a great player.
No, I agree.
Both those guys are better players.
There was also a vote that just came out. We're in the infancy where, crap, I don't remember his name, who came up with 0 votes.
Yeah, 0 votes. Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are we doing here?
Then just don't vote. Nobody's forcing you to turn that in. If you don't want to vote for anybody, just don't vote.
I will say, kudos to you for saying, like, I'm an asshole and here's my asshole vote.
Yeah. Yeah, to Sadi LeBron. Yeah.
No, but there's something to that.
Yeah, his answer is this is my Hall of Fame ballot. I'm cool with it. And he posted it. First comment underneath is Brandon McCarthy, who says, maybe circle back and try again.
But I'm dead serious. Like, if you're going to do that, own it. And he did.
And he did own it. That is true. Yeah, Brad Ziegler underneath. No kidding. Let's get every steroid user in there except Bonds. He isn't good enough under that criteria. Like, yeah, I don't know. I just want to say that we have found one of our like holy grails.
Yes.
People are.
Yeah.
We don't have any real rationale for why he did it, but at least we know one of them who he is. Ballot 183 in the 2022 Hall of Fame, Sadi LeBron of Telemundo. My hat is off to you for being the rarest of species. So anyway,
I just like saying Telemundo.
Telemundo. And actually, by the way, su líder mundial en deportes is ESPN Deportes. That's the Spanish one. ESPN. ESPN. Su líder mundial en deportes.
Nice.
Not that I watch a lot of that overseas when I was in Argentina.
You say you're that in Argentina. You're gonna wind up here in Winnipeg, or here in Winnipeg, where I'm going to be in Winnipeg.
They say ESPN, eh?
Eh? Yeah.
Eh?
Yeah.
So anyway,
Evan and I have a lot of ballots, or not ballots, votes or bets against each other. I'm going to lose them all. And the amazing thing is when that happens, I'm going to take him to a Jets game. That's how it looks like.
deal.
Where it's
I'll
going
go
to
to
be
the
like
game.
3 times the cost.
That's the deal. I will go to a Jets game. Absolutely, 100%.
Right.
It would be awesome to see an actual hockey game in Canada. You know what I mean?
Oh, you've never done that?
I've never seen a hockey game in Canada. No. Well, I'll take that back. I believe I saw an Acadia Axemen played Dalhousie maybe in a hockey game once.
Dalhousie.
Dalhousie, excuse me. Dalhousie. Yes. Yeah, so that did happen because my sister went to Acadia.
Nice.
But yeah, so that's the only one I've seen, and the only thing maybe the only sporting event I've seen in Canada, other than ski race at Mont Tremblant once. So. So, anyways, what's on your shit boxes? We're out of control.
Yeah. Today. Okay. So my shit box, it's kind of full. We haven't done the Kirk's shit box in a while because we've been busy. We've had a lot of stuff to do. So as I do this, I want to make sure this is me. Evan has nothing to do with this.
Okay. Should I turn off my camera just to make sure at the moment, or
no? Yes or no? I don't know. But
continue.
Yeah. All right, let me just bring this up here with what
just so you guys know, I have no idea where he's going with this.
No, you don't. No, I didn't tell you. Yeah. So Leah Thomas, do you know who that is?
Leah Thomas.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. She represents Penn. Like not Penn State, but Penn in swimming.
Okay.
Yeah. So I told you it was going to be swimming. So
yeah.
She just shattered a record.
Okay.
Yeah, on the 200 meter freestyle.
Okay.
All right. Leah was not Leah 2 years ago.
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is where I'm going with this, and I want to be very, very strict here. This is what I think. Evan doesn't think this. Evan doesn't know where I'm going with this. She shattered a record representing Penn that it wasn't just whatever for the colonial or whatever it was. It's 11 seconds faster than the current record for any woman in the 200 meter. So she's in her early 20s. And you and I talked about someone in the Olympics who was in her early 40s. We know where this is going. And at some point, the NCAA, the Olympics, we've got to figure something out here. Nobody paid attention to what happened here at Penn. To the point where I thought this was going to be mentioned in ESPN. It wasn't. But that's 9 seconds faster than the actual record that exists. We have to figure something out to protect women's sports. And if someone wants to sort of like say like, I'm a big, like, fine. This is me, not Evan. This is me. but we have to figure this out now. And I don't know where to go from here. I really don't, but it's going to get worse. That's all I got, man. I really don't. I don't know where to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's a situation in which, while you want to respect the decisions of the people who have made this sort of transition, they are at a genetic advantage over their competition.
Right.
There's a reason generally that men's and women's sports have been separated historically, because except in a very few sports, there are a few that probably are fairly similar, or wouldn't be ridiculously different, but like breaking a record by 11 seconds is not the natural progression of anything.
No, it really isn't. And at this point, it's just about like what is accurate, what we need. And I believe everyone should have their best life. I truly do. But don't fuck with anyone else's life. And that's where we're going.
Interesting. So the question is, do we need a third category?
I don't even know that.
Yeah, it's an interesting discussion. I don't know either. I see where you're going with it. And again, this is a really complicated thing, but you're right. If this is a situation in which people are going to have a natural advantage and get rewarded for it, I guess, in a way, does that make it fair for everybody? So, yeah, this is, we've broached this before. We try not to talk about topics like this, but it happens all the time. There's
it's impossible.
We have to have a discussion,
right? Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like that's something, especially too, when we look at the Olympics, and I've gone there with Kessler Samania, who was essentially ousted based on IOC rules. So what's going to happen as we go forward? I don't know. I don't know. But we have to figure this out now.
Yeah, agreed. I see where you're going.
Yeah, and that's not necessarily saying like, hey, don't do this. Do it. I mean, like, be your best person, please. I want you to be the best person you can be. But don't fuck with anyone else. That's it. That's all I got. That came up recently, and again, if someone's got a problem with that, take it up with me. Not with that, but take it with me. So
fair enough.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's the shit box.
That was a deep thinking one, and very, very calm. You usually get more upset. It is clearly but to be fair, really? It is clearly something that having a real discussion about it automatically is going to bring up emotions for a lot of people. But you have to have a discussion to figure it out because there are, like you said, it's entirely possible that certain sports are going to make it so that people who are born female are not going to be able to fairly compete in their own events.
At some point, we've got to figure this out. And again, I'm a hypocrite because I'm going to watch no matter what. I've said that.
I mean, anyone who watches the NFL is a hypocrite. So we all know what these people are doing to themselves.
Oh, you're right.
Like I personally draw the line at MMA. I cannot watch MMA under any circumstances. Although I will admit, I did watch a video that was posted last week of a 5-on-5 MMA fight out of Poland, which was absolutely ludicrous.
Whoa. 5-on-5 MMA in Poland?
Yeah.
Okay. How does that work?
Team wearing black shorts, team wearing white shorts. They each squared off against each other. As soon as one guy got knocked out, the referees pull him to the side. That guy's now free to go fight someone else. And so now it's two guys on one guy. And eventually the white shorts just absolutely clean the floor with the black shorts.
Sounds cool.
I had to watch that. Like, it was a far shot. I had to watch it just to see what that looked like.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
That was morbid curiosity, but I've seen the one train crash. I don't need to see it again. Now that I have the understanding of the physics behind it. So anyway, so you want to go on to the our death march for the week?
Hoorah, yes.
Hoorah. All right, let's start in pro bowling, actually. Mark Roth passed away at the age of 70. He is won four-time PBA Player of the Year, first bowler ever to convert a 7-10 split on national TV. Won 33 titles. A member of the PBA Hall of Fame. Also a member of the National Jewish Sports Hall of Fame. But he passed away. He had from complications of pneumonia. He had a heart attack a couple of years ago. So once you have heart issues and you get pneumonia, it's a real challenge.
Right.
Four-time Player of the Year, record of 8 titles in a single season. That he did set that in 1978 and has never been matched. So he passed away. Mark Roth passed away at the age of 70. From the world of auto racing, if I can find where there's so many things open here. Frank Williams passed away from Formula One, the Williams racing team. So he is the patriarch, passed away at the age of 79. He has won 9 constructors championships and 7 drivers championships between 1977 and 2020. He started as a race car driver himself. He's one of the big, if you follow Formula One at all, one of the biggest names in Formula One. Also a member of the Order of the British Empire. He received a knighthood back in 1999.
Nice.
He is also a member of the Motorsports Hall of Fame for back in 2011. So he passed away 79. I don't have. He was near the hospital and then died 2 days later, but I don't have exactly what he passed from. So, from track and field, Emmett King passed away. Unfortunately, he was a 2-time world. He was a world championship sprinter for the U.S. Won a gold in Helsinki. Represented the U.S. in the Olympics in '84 and '88. But he unfortunately has passed away. He got into a dispute with somebody else. The other guy shot and killed him at the age of 62 in Bessemer, Alabama. Also from
there, or do we know?
I didn't honestly spend a lot of time going into it. There was some sort of domestic dispute and he passed. I don't actually know. A bunch of it. Hold on one second. I'm looking for the next person. Also from track and field. I usually have these in order, and for some reason I don't. Here we go. CJ Hunter, American shot putter, passed away at only the age of 52. He won gold in shot put at the Pan American Games and the World Championships. 3-time All-American at Penn State. He also was married most famously to Marion Jones.
Oh.
That CJ Hunter.
Okay.
They divorced in 2002 because of the Balco scandal. So he passed away at 52. It doesn't say from what, but I heard rumors that it was heart related.
Man.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of funny when we talk about Marion Jones and what you and I have put together with the United States Athletic Hall of Fame. Like if we were to talk about this like 10 years ago, we would have not thought Marion would have been a lock.
Yeah, I mean, but Marion Jones stuff was I mean, we're old, man. Marion Jones stuff was like almost 20 years ago.
Is it 20 years?
Yeah, it's 2002.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay.
Yeah, hold on. Let me double check. The Balco scandal was, 2002.
All right. What Olympics did she win, though?
2000.
Okay.
I think. Hold on. Let me double check. I didn't look at that.
Yeah, I guess it just feels less longer than I thought. Obviously.
She was in, the Olympic Games in Sydney in 2000.
Okay. All right.
So.
All right. So, yeah, sorry to interrupt, but yeah.
No, that's fine. Yeah, but he was only 52. From the world of golf, we lost Lee Elder, who was the first African-American player to play in a Masters tournament back in 1975.
Yeah.
He was only invited because he won the Monsanto Open in 74. He didn't make the cut. But he one of the most important golfers in the history of golf. Just for his fighting against racism, and having to deal with all the hate mail and everything else that came from the guy, from the guy who was the first one to play the Masters. He got tons of hate mail. He actually rented 2 different houses in Augusta during the week and kept going back and forth between them, hoping that people wouldn't track him down. Which is, I mean, it's hard to win a tournament when you're so concerned about that. But yeah, he won 6 times on the Open, 4 on his own and 2 in playoffs. So yeah, he passed away at the age of 87 years old.
Yeah, it's so disgusting. Just think that, okay, you've got to sort of like figured this out because of your race.
Yeah.
In terms of like place to place. So yeah, like absolute legend.
100% absolute legend.
Yeah.
We from the world of hockey, international IHF Hall of Fame player Matti Kainanen from from Finland passed away at the age of 80. Just a member of the Finnish Hockey Hall of Fame, but also the IIHF Hall of Fame in 2002. Played at 68 and 72 for the Olympics and the World Championships in 62, 63, 65, 6, 7, 9, 72, and 70, 72, and 73.
Yeah.
So
yeah, the IIHF Hall of Fame is like right there with the Hockey Hall of Fame. So it's a pretty cool thing to see.
So yeah, he was 80 years old.
Yeah.
From the world of volleyball, Don Shondell, the patriarch of the Shondell family, if anyone follows volleyball, passed away at the age of 92. He has the second most wins in NCAA men's volleyball history as a coach. He was 769, 280, and 6. So a 732 winning percentage for his entire career. So he passed away at the age of 92. From the world of let's see where we go now. The world of football. We lost a couple people this week. First was Otis Anderson Jr., who is a running back this year, who signed with the Rams undrafted free agent, and was on the practice squad, and got in a fight with his dad, who shot and killed him at the age of 23.
What? Okay, I missed that.
What?
No, I missed that. And what? Otis killed his kid?
Otis Anderson Jr., not related to the other Otis Anderson.
Oh, okay.
This is Otis Anderson with 1 T, not Otis Anderson with 2 T's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so yeah. Otis Anderson Jr. was running back who played at Central Florida, was on and off the Rams practice squad, had been released in the middle of September, was home for Thanksgiving, and he and his dad got in a fight, and his dad shot and killed him at only the age of 23.
Okay, damn. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I got nothing.
Yeah, I mean, what do you say?
Yeah.
I guess the bigger name from this week from football was Curly Culp, Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Oh my God, legend. Yeah.
At the age of 75. AFL champion in 69 with the Chiefs, Super Bowl champions for Super Bowl 4, first team All-Pro in 75, 4-time second team All-Pro in 71, 77, 78, 79, 6-time Pro Bowler, NFL Defensive Player of the Year in 75. Remember the Kansas City Chiefs Hall of Fame finally got elected to the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2012. Yeah, 2012. No, 2013.
Yeah. Okay.
But he announced back earlier this month that he had stage 4 pancreatic cancer and passed away 11 days later.
Yeah, I remember hearing that, watching like a football game there. Man. Okay, so what do you think, like, when somebody sort of like does that, like announces that, and they know they're going to sort of like die? And I'm sort of like thinking about Norm Macdonald, who didn't.
Right. I mean, it's all on you. I remember when Arthur Ashe announced he had AIDS that he got from a blood transfusion.
Right.
And he knew he was going to die. There was a lot that went into that just because of what AIDS was at that point.
Right.
And everything along those lines. So, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what I would do in that situation. You and I aren't famous enough yet for anyone necessarily to care, but I don't know exactly what I would do.
I love how you said yet.
Yeah. That's the power of yet, my friend. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I would do in that situation.
Yeah.
So, let's see here. From the world of,
an absolute legend there. And like, I want to go back to that after you sort of like finish what you're doing here.
Okay. From the world of entertainment, we lost classic actress Arlene Dahl, passed away at the age of 96. She was in tons and tons of movies. She's probably as famous for being married a bunch as anything else. And she's also famous for her oldest child. Do you know who Arlene Dahl's oldest child is?
No.
Lorenzo Lamas.
Okay.
Yeah. So she married Fernando Lamas, who was her partner in I can't remember the exact movie it was. But they got married afterwards, and Lorenzo was her oldest child. She and Fernando were only married for 6 years. So Lorenzo came out of it. So
the first, second, and last time that he's going to be mentioned on this show.
Lorenzo Lamas. One more. But she passed at the age of 96.
Yeah. Which is awesome because like he still had a great career.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. From the world at large, and then we're gonna get to baseball quickly. The world at large, Stephen Sondheim passed away. Probably one of the, I don't want to overstate this. I don't think I'm going to when I say it. It's probably one of the 10 most important people in the development of American culture in the 20th century.
All right, I'll take your word for it because like I barely know who he is.
Oh, well, he is Mr. Broadway. Okay. He is also one of the greatest people ever to be on Broadway. He wrote West Side Story, Gypsy, A Funny Thing Happened Away the Forum, Company, Follies, A Little Light Music, Sweeney Todd, a whole bunch. I mean, tons and tons of them. Okay. And was always going out and following other people's things. Whenever he was bored, he would drop in on some small playwright's thing off Broadway and sit and give them advice and tell them if they thought it was good and if there wasn't, what he could do about it. And just an absolute genius, and a kind and helpful and lovable genius. Passed away at the age of 91.
That last part is awesome. What you just said, like just to do that. Well,
he was Rodgers and Hammerstein's protege. Like he was their coffee boy originally, and started with them, and they supported him, And so he went and supported the next generation. So
Awesome.
Godspeed, Stephen Sondheim. Also passed away this week from baseball. Don Demeter passed away. Played for 11 years for the Dodgers, Phillies, Tigers, Red Sox, and Indians. Member of the 59. Were they still the Brooklyn Dodgers in 59? I can't remember when they moved.
57, I think.
Right. So he was a member of the 59 team.
Dodgers team. Right? It's all good. Yeah.
Yeah. So hold on. Yeah, they moved to Los Angeles in 58. So it was their first year. They beat the White Sox in the World Series in 59. But he, member of those teams, passed away at the age of 86. But I guess the bigger name for baseball, 1983 Cy Young Award winner Lamar Hoyt passed away.
Yeah, you sent that to me. Like, I didn't realize he passed away. It's like one of the baseball cards I have that I don't want to say that I hold in high regard, but just I remember him because the time I got the card, it was a pretty big deal. Yeah. What did he pass away of?
I don't actually have a reason that he passed away here. I do have to say his trade from the White Sox to the Padres is one of the more interesting ones in history because he played for the White Sox from 79 to 84, won the All-Star, won the Cy Young Award in 83, led the AL wins in 82 and 83. He was only an All-Star once in 85. He wasn't an All-Star the year he won the Cy Young because All-Star votes are weird.
Yeah, agreed.
But he was traded with Kevin Kristen and Todd Simmons. They're two people I don't even know anything about, to the White Sox, or from the White Sox to the Padres for Luis Salazar, Bill Long, Tim Lawler, and Ozzie Guillen. That's how Ozzie ended up Mr. White Sox, or the modern day Mr. White Sox. Minnie Minoso still Mr. White Sox, but the more modern Mr. White Sox. So Lamar was 66. One last person. Here's a person from the news at one point in our collective life, a very important part of a very important story, passed away at the age of 68. Do you remember Charles Moose?
No.
Police Chief Charles Moose.
No, you can say it any way you want. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Montgomery County, Maryland Police Chief Charles Moose.
Doesn't help me.
He was the guy in charge of trying to track down the DC snipers.
That still doesn't help me.
You don't remember the DC sniper?
No.
These guys were going around just shooting people at random in Washington, D.C. Oh my God, we've had so many gun tragedies in the U.S. You've forgotten. It terrorized the country for a while. They actually started in the West Coast and were killing people randomly along the way, but people didn't notice. And they stopped in D.C. and were shooting people willy-nilly, including somebody at my old Home Depot. There was an FBI agent was there with her husband. We're going to Home Depot and got shot and killed in the parking lot. And eventually they caught him. But Mr. Police Chief Charles Moose was the guy who was giving all the updates and keeping us in charge. But he passed away at the age of 68. That's not something that means anything to you. It was a big deal for us here in the U.S. So I remember freaking out in Boston, walking home in the dark from the bus to my car. There's somebody's hanging out across the soccer field.
Hey, it's Enrico Palazzo.
Yeah, probably Enrico Palazzo. So anyway, that's what I got.
Okay, cool. So we don't have a whole lot left. We have, do you want to do my section or yours?
Yeah, do yours.
Okay. So my last section is elevator up, elevator down. Elevator up means, hey, who in the last 7 days has done something to make themselves more Hall of Fame worthy? Mine's Adele.
Okay.
Yeah, because I didn't tell you who it was. I just said music. So
yeah, you said music. She has set fire to the rain. So I know what else she can do.
Yeah. So what was her third album? She is On Fire.
It's her fourth album, right? 19, 21, 25, and now 30.
Okay. Was it third? Okay, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
I'm not into this type of music, but it's unavoidable. I like to think, and who in the last 30 years that you can think of, that you can sort of look at and say, I don't need anything else around them?
Whitney. That's it. I think that's the list.
Okay, so if it just heard Whitney, is that not rock eligible?
Yeah, and Whitney's in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she and Whitney are the two who just the voice was so superior, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not a fan of hers in terms of like Adele, but like I think to myself, if my wife says, okay, we're going to see Adele in a concert, I'd say yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just pay 100% attention to her.
Yep, understood.
And, yeah.
By the way, she will be appearing on. I'm doing my top 42 songs of the year. I finished number 30 today.
Yeah.
A wonderful band from the Isle of Wight, believe it or not, called Wet Leg.
Mm-hmm.
You should see them there, or you should see their songs. It's fantastic. But Adele is coming in the top 29. Spoiler alert.
And there's just something super special about her that I think is going to transfer when we do this, like 10, 20 years from now. And we will. She's awesome.
She is.
And yeah, so for me, that's the elevator up.
Also, is that your only elevator up? I have a question for an elevator up that I was thinking of this week.
Well, yeah, before you do that, also too, because since we went there, she's now number 1 in albums. Yeah, but yeah, go ahead.
So I was thinking about this again. It's very Patriot centric.
Mm-hmm.
Patriots have a cornerback named J.C. Jackson. He's only been in the league for 4 years.
Yep. During
the 4 years he has been in the league, he has 21 interceptions through 3 3/4 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what second place during that time is?
Ric Flair.
It is Ric Flair. No, it's 14. So he's got 50% more than second place during that time period. I'm just saying he's very early in his career and he's going to get paid at the end of the season by somebody, whether it's Patriots, somebody else. But if he keeps that up and he ends up with on the same pace, he's going to end up way at the top. 60 plus doesn't seem out of sight for him. And I think that's a very good Hall of Fame thing, but he's ridiculous. The ball goes in the air and somehow it always finds him. It's like a magnet. So when Patriots would never put magnets in anything. So we were joking that because the Titans actually hit the same post on their first 2 kicks in the game this last week. An extra point and a field goal, both at the exact same post, exactly same. We're like, oh, they're magnetizing the ball. So anyway, all right.
Also, if you and I are doing a bet, whatever I do, I should bet against me.
It comes down to this weekend. It comes down to this on Monday night. If the Patriots beat the Bills, it's over on that one. I don't think it matters. If the Bills beat the Patriots, it's still going because the Patriots get the Bills at home. I think they're going to split. But we'll see.
All right.
Anyway, do you have any other elevator up, elevator down?
No, that's my biggest elevator up. I think that Adele is someone we're going to be talking about for a long, long time.
Fair enough. No. All right, man. So I'm going to go into my good, bad, and ugly. You're going to like the good.
Okay, am I?
He's off the bench and into your heart. Ennis Freedom. Ennis Freedom.
Oh,
the NBA Ennis? By storm. Ennis.
Oh.
American citizen, celebrated by changing his name to Ennis Cantor Freedom.
Yes.
Who is more than happy to sit down with the folks at Fox and give his opinions, and also sit down with LeBron and tell him why he's wrong on China. So it's again,
that's so centrist, but yes, okay, yeah.
So you are on record as saying that you think this is his last season in the league.
Yes, I do. Yes.
I think him becoming Ennis Freedom, much like World Be Free, is actually going to prolong his career. He's only 29.
I hope you're right.
Yeah. But yeah, it's funny. There are all sorts of texts like Austin Krell texted from my dad. Who's the hell is this Freedom guy? He looks a lot like Ennis Cantor.
Well, I'm all in on this. Yeah.
Yeah. So number 13 on the Celtics, number 13 Freedom jerseys all over, let me tell you. So good for Ennis for standing up for it. Good for getting a citizenship. Good for changing his name to back up what he believes. I didn't necessarily agree with everything he said on Fox, but he was out there willing to talk about it.
Neither do I. But he's all in.
Yep. He's speaking his mind from his point of view without any other sort of political agenda. Nobody else is making him do this. You know what I mean? A lot of people go on those shows with putting someone else's work. Someone else is paying them for what they're saying. Put it that way.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So
Ennis is not being paid for what he's saying. So good for him.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so there you go. I thought you'd appreciate that. I didn't tell you.
Oh my God, yes.
I'm going to have a good transferring into bad here. The good is that the Women's Tennis Association has suspended all tournaments in China.
Okay.
The bad is the reason they're doing that is that no one really knows what's going on with Peng Shuai.
Okay.
So you covered this a few weeks ago.
Yes, I did.
But she basically accused a high-ranking member of the Chinese government of rape.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot search her in China. You cannot search the word tennis in China currently on their internet.
Mm-hmm.
She came out with, no one knew where she was. She came out with a statement saying that she was fine. That looked like a hostage video. The international community trotted out the perfectly named for the situation, Dick Pound, to tell us that he saw the video and everything is fine. Yeah, that's what we want to hear about. Rape victim is fine, says Dick Pound. But whatever's going on with her, they need to figure it out and figure out fast, but at least good on the WTA as somebody taking a stand about, hey, you cannot do this. We need to know what's going on. So at least good on the WTA for that. There's a lot more coming. I'm not going to go into it any further than that, but there's a lot more coming on with what's going on for that. So that is my bad. Yeah, I also want to talk a little bit about the NCAA football coaches like Brian Kelly, saying that he wanted to go play coach the best players in the world at LSU and thinking that like Notre Dame is a stepping stone, and doing this while his team is 10-1 and still in 6 in the bowl in the playoff scenario. Like same thing at Oklahoma. They're 9-2 and still in the process of all this stuff. Although Bob Stoops is coming back. Bob Stoops is coming back to coach Oklahoma for the one game. Maybe they can go get Lou Holtz to coach Notre Dame for a game. I know Charlie Weiss is available if they want to do that. But yeah, that whole thing where they're jumping ship and everything is ridiculous. But everything in college sports is ridiculous. And Peng Shuai is much more important. I just did want to mention that on the bad side of things.
Mm-hmm.
The ugly is what's about to happen in approximately 1 hour and 6 minutes.
Okay.
Major League Baseball is shutting down.
Oh.
So this is going to be the first work stoppage since 1994, which stopped which is why the Expos are no longer in Montreal.
Right.
Because that 94 Expos team probably wins the World Series. There's no guarantee, but they're a ridiculously good team. there are all these players being signed. Like I said, Marcus Stroman ended up with the Cubs. Baez ended up with the Tigers. The Mets shelled out like $90 million for a 38-year-old Justin Verlander. But they had a negotiation today, face to face. This was 3 days of negotiation into this. Today was the last day. They met for 7 minutes and walked out. 7 minutes, they managed to make it. So the big thing for the players is what happened to Chris Bryant, where Chris Bryant had to stay with his team a whole nother year because he didn't get to play until May 1st. So he didn't get enough service time in order to do that. That's one of the big things the players want rid of. And it's one thing that Major League Baseball, apparently the negotiations say, that's why they walked out, said it's entirely off the table. They're willing to negotiate other things, but that was entirely off the table, the service time. So the players like, well, we're walking it out. I don't know when this stops, legitimately. If that's where we are, and that's like the number one thing the players want, and the thing that the owners aren't going to give up, we may miss some part of the season next year. It would not surprise me. I'm not expecting any spring training. It would not surprise me if they miss games. Because if there's one thing we've talked about a bunch on this show, it's how much Rob Manfred hates baseball.
No, very true.
And he would be perfectly happy with not playing games.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what's going to go on. Baseball was having some really good ratings in the postseason. They had good ratings during the season. The games were a little bit slower despite everything they tried to do. Games were 7 minutes slower, but the ratings were up. So who knows exactly what that means, but this is going to be ungood. I wouldn't be surprised if May, even into June is when we start seeing baseball, even like spring training for baseball at that point. Everybody's looking out for themselves. There's a lot of greed in what people think they deserve, and I don't know how they're going to get through it. It's just, this is the beginning of something very, very ugly. The fact they had 7 minutes of negotiation and walked out is not a good sign.
Yeah. I got nothing. We know where this is going to go. We've been here before.
Yeah. Interesting thing was the players won 12 teams in the postseason, and the league offered 14 postseason teams out of the 30 teams in the league. 14 would make it.
Okay, but realistically, is this really something that they give a shit about, though?
I have no idea. They're trying to say that if there are more playoffs teams, more teams are going to try and compete, is the idea. So, and I did like the idea that the number one seed overall gets to stay home for the first round. They meet up in the semifinals. Mm-hmm. The other division winners, number 2 and 3, get to choose teams 5, 6, and 7, which one they want to play in the first round.
Yeah, that part's very interesting to me.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think it's the schoolyard rules are cool. If you're going to have that many, just be like, hey, so let's say the AL East team is number one team. And so we go to the central, we go to the West, and it's the Astros again. And the Astros is just like, you know what, man, we played the Mariners 8 times this year or whatever it is, and they just could not keep up with us. We're going to come, and then the Mariners come and kick their ass. That'd be fantastic. They're just like, it's double bragging rights. But again, do we need 14 teams? That seems like a lot.
Oh, it does. It does. Well, there's just so much to sort of like go with that. Hopefully, we have baseball next year.
We shall see. Because I'm looking at it right now. So the 14th, 7th team in the East, or 17th AL, excuse me, would have been the Mariners actually at 90 and 72. That's a pretty good team, right? So the Blue Jays were 91 and 71. The Mariners were 90 and 72. That's a respectable game. That's a respectable 7th team. There's hard to argue that one.
Right.
In the NL, team 7 would be a sub 500 team, because team 6 would have been the Reds with a five. Oh no, it would have been the Phillies. The Phillies at 82-80 would have been the 7th team. I know if you need an 82-80 team in the playoffs with a negative 11 run differential.
Yeah, when you say that, it's like Atlanta winning the whole thing seems so weird, though.
Yeah, they were 88-73. I mean, the Mariners had a better record than the team that won the World Series.
Yeah.
They were the worst team to make the playoffs. The Mariners had a better record. The Blue Jays had a better record.
Mm-hmm.
And neither of them got to play. So anyway, I think that's what we got, man.
Yeah, ça c'est bon.
Oh man, you're going French. Must be late.
Yeah, must be. So with that, any like last call for alcohol?
So just an RIP to my Revolution, who lost in shootout in their first playoff game. And also RIP to the Nashville team, who had the single worst penalty shootout performance of any team I've ever seen in my entire life. And that includes some Sunday league teams that I've played on. They had bad penalty shot that was saved, okay penalty shot that was saved, and then missed the net by 4 feet in the next 2 shots. High and wide on both of them. And lost. It's not easy to go 0 for 4 in penalty kicks.
High and wide seems like a joke for me.
Anyway,
I won't.
Sounds good. All right, guys. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thanks for listening.
Stay safe, everyone.
Stay safe.
If you can, check out a bunch of stuff that we're going to do. We are going to have our baseball show.
Mm-hmm.
Which is going to be sort of like where we're going to figure out, like, hey, who should be in the Baseball Hall of Fame?
And somehow we can only vote for 10.
Yeah, that and the football thing. So, hey, stay safe, everyone.
Take care, guys.
All right, bye.